Hello, everyone. Welcome to another 5-Minute Fridays with Pastor Jason Oehrlein. As you can see, I am no longer at my home. I am up in northern Minnesota at my buddy Todd Anderson's house. He and his wife Lori have graciously invited me up here to relax and have some ministry time. It's a beautiful place out in the woods here. But today we're going to talk about running a race. And what does that look like? The race of life, right? We have this physical race that we're running, but also a very spiritual one. And the Apostle Paul talks about this a lot in his writings, actually. He talks about it in 1 Corinthians 9. He talks about it in 2 Timothy 5. Also in Hebrews, the book of Hebrews, chapter 12. He talks about a lot of things about this word endurance. Right? If we're going to run a race, we need endurance. Or in other verses, he talks about perseverance. This perseverance leads to hope. This constant going forward, right? I've talked about this many times that with Jesus Christ, there is no over or under or around. There is only through with Jesus. That he's the only way. We go through the things with him. And that's what perseverance looks like, is no matter what we're going through in life, we just keep going, trusting in him. And I remember my today, as I was thinking about these things, and Todd and I were talking about this word perseverance and how to run the race. And I remembered my grandpa Ben Oehrlein. After he retired, we were sitting down playing cribbage one day, and he looked right at me and he said, "Jason, you know, a lot of people, they talk about this life and how fast it goes." He said, "Man, I don't know what they're talking about. This thing is taking forever." And I just was reminded of that today. Yes, it seems like a short race, but also it's a long, enduring, running race. And so in the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, the Apostle Paul writes, "Therefore, let us, since we have such a great a cloud of witnesses," right? "Let us throw off the sin that so easily ensnares us. Let us run this race with endurance, looking to Jesus Christ, the author and finisher of our faith, who, with the glory that was set before him, for the joy that was set before him, endured the cross." That's Hebrews 12, 1, 2, and 3. And there's a lot in that to unpack. And as Todd brought up today, my buddy Todd, he said, you know, the best thing about this is we're not running this race alone. He made a great point. See, we think that, we think of marathon runners and bicyclists and endurance and running by yourself, but you're really not. For those of us who are born again, we have Christ in us running this race. We have him, our author and finisher, to look upon, to help us run this race by his grace and by his mercy and his love. But we also have so many people around us in the body of Christ. We're not doing it alone. So I encourage you today, as we run this race of life, there is this perseverance. That really what that means is our character doesn't change. Our faith to Jesus Christ doesn't change no matter what's going on in our life. We keep going through it with a steadfast love and his grace. But let us remember, we're not doing this alone. We are encouraged to run this race with one another, to love one another, to lift one another up, to help one another, to trust, to encourage, to instruct, to direct, to critique and instruct and help each other to fix things in our life. So I pray this today, that we run this race of life well, with Jesus Christ in us and with our brothers and sisters and families around us to help us run that race. So I pray that it was a blessing for you. Please pray for the weather to change. It's 5 degrees up here this morning, but by God's grace, the sun is shining, and I'm so happy. God bless you all. Bye.